they set up this thing called a House of Wisdom, and they were literally paying scholars the amount that we pay like modern day football players, you know? So I started with the Abbasid Caliphate, but before then, the second Caliphate is the Umayyad, and that's where it kind of really begins, and that's the second Caliphate. It goes from 661 to 750 AD, and then there's this Abbasid revolution that starts in 750 AD, and that establishes this singular caliphate succession until 1258. And so the reason that I give so much importance to the Abbasid is because it's the most extensive out of the caliphates that are established, but also that they had this policy of wisdom, right? They set up this thing called a House of Wisdom, and they were literally paying scholars the amount that we pay like modern day football players, you know, in order to translate the wisdom of the peoples that they had conquered. And I mean, it's one of the beautiful projects, and it's in such stark opposition to the Islam that we're familiar with today, where they destroy their own heritage, you know, their own, you know, ancient Mesopotamian temples. Whereas like these guys were like, we need to translate all that wisdom, and we need to, you know, get it into Arabic. And it was through that translation that they preserved a lot of the classical material that was lost to Europe, right? So they preserved Plato and the Neoplatonists. They preserved, you know, most of Aristotle's work. They had a bunch of material in Arabic that it wasn't until, you know, the Renaissance that it made its way back into Europe. So while everybody's like working with scraps and bits and pieces and secondary sources, like these guys are over here continuing the tradition from the classical world, you know, which is absolutely, you know, let's just take a step back and thank the Muslims for that one. You know, we could have lost, like, we would be nowhere, like we wouldn't know Plato like we know Plato today if it wasn't for them, you know?